time, whenever you guys face off against Hex Mambo, Deathwalker had some choice words to say about you guys. Said you guys were the worst team in the SPL, that it was going to be an easy win for them, but then you guys 2-0'd him. You have some words maybe back for Deathwalker this time.
I mean, he's SEC for a reason, right?
What do you mean by that?
That is unreal from Deathwalker. That is.
It is just such a versatile tool to disrupt these engagements. You've got that safety net from the Scarabs Blessing. This one could be very fun to watch.
We know Hex Mambo are okay going a bit later on into these games as well. That's how they won most of their games over in the EUSCC. Johnny teleport back and an extra chunk of damage because of it.
Best of luck.
They're going to be a totally different style coming out of Scary D. Of course, you can get the stun with the Achilles, but a lot of it control, damage, executes, and maybe more CC from Deathwalker. Johnny is hit level 5 here. Sanford Soccer just a bit behind. Takes over to level 5 in the same sentence. But the time is now for Johnny to start putting pressure on Beads. I wonder if Sam can maybe get the pressure here onto Deathwalker. Remember, Scary D has Fatal Strike, uses it early, but still plenty of damage for the Solar Scarabs, and it's first blood to the Achilles.
Did Deathwalker not have access to the ultimate there? Spent so much time. Yeah, he's put an additional point into the Fearless. I mean, it helps out your boxing in lane, but gotta think he would have just survived had he got his ultimate.
Well, didn't level it, and now has died first overall. Gotta be a beads burning tool for Johnny. I hope that some beads are down, and he'll send it towards Sanford Soccer now. Typhoon, and the juke is good from Sam, but a Scarab's Blessing from Rotwin out of the dual lane. Keeps the monkey on the map. Scary D would love to chase this down. Fatal Strike around the side, more for movement than for execute, and a double stun as well. And a great looking fight from the Solar Scarabs in mid. Not just 2 more kills.
Find themselves a pretty large swing early on.
Now, Scarab's Blessing does do some work in slowing down that fight, but inbound doesn't have a Scarab's Blessing for himself. Is he going to get executed? No, not upon dropping down to earth. And
Still alive?
With enough peel, the dot won't hit either. And so inbound in the root uses his ultimate to slow himself down. For the Solar Scarabs, they'll put a little pressure over on the left side, but also over on right. Can Sam continue his onslaught? An ult used by Veronic. Will he take it? Yes, he will. Makes his way towards right. I guess that's the low investment, and don't get to break that down, because damage onto Rotwin will have the Kepri scurrying away.
Faster build from the Solar Scarab Soul Laner. Maybe we see some of that action erupt around the Pyro.
The Hex Mambo need to do something here, and it's not drop a Fear No Evil onto Inbound, who is in his ultimate. Around the backside goes Scary D. Sanctified Field, it's near perfect from Stewart. And the Scarab's Blessing only delays the death of Rotwin. One ultimate connects, it's E-Chrome, who sends Baronic up, and down he goes, but Inbound with a brilliant wall gives Baronic an avenue out, and Baronic drops back in, and Johnny on the reinitiation makes it a double kill for Hex Mambo, but in the backline, Scary D says hello. And the Solar Scarabs at least able to find their first kill of the fight. Hex Mambo not looking that bad. Grab a 2 for 1. Zeros has been building Charon's Coin this weekend, though, I feel like.
Yeah, Zeros has.
Yeah.
You said standard.
4 zeros.
Okay.
But I'll put an asterisk. Yeah, Charon's Coin first, not so much across the league, but that's a nice initiation from Hex Mambo. In fact, it's brilliant. And Johnny knocks down Sanford Soccer. Deathwalker pushes 2 back, and Fear No Evil is good. And E-Chrome, is he just going to get a solo here onto Stewart? One more auto will get it done. What is happening? Hex Mambo suddenly igniting this match, and they'll find 2 kills across the map.
Now the Solar Scarabs have to defend. Veronic's got access to that ultimate. He could get there, but he'd go in alone. Inbound pathing the other way. Hex Mambo, individual plays win out the day on this small battle. Solo kill here or there, nets them a Gold Fury, and brings this game right back to even.
But Hex Mambo not giving up. And really good plays, honestly. I mean, the solo kill from E-Chrome, not often you see that against Stewart, who's been playing some of his best Smite here over the last couple of weeks.
Are you sure?
And then brilliant initiation. Yeah, I'm sure Stewart's been playing some good Smite.
I'm talking about this.
Mambo will not reply to the Pyromancer, and Inbound uses his ultimate, so the Solar Scarab's at least able to pull back one of the neutral objectives.
I'm keeping my eyes on Zeros' build. I'm curious. He could still go into a late stack item because of Baba Yaga's passive.
Scarabs need to find a way. Oh, is it going to happen again? E-Chrome brawling with Stewart. And then just a straight up 1v1, that do look good for E-Chrome, but inbound rotates through. Ultimate out from both E-Chrome and Stu. Is in between three. Baronic rotates over to the duo lane, and a Fear No Evil catches onto Stewart. The Hex Mambo trying to disengage from this fight because you want to get Scaredy involved. He's trying, but the Fatal Strike either wasn't in threshold or didn't hit. E-Chrome not executed. Luckily for the Solar Scarabs, though, they are able to find the 2 kills, and Scaredy finds his 5th for a Rampage. Baronic does not. Baronic ulted over to the left side of the map here. Worth noting that E-Chrome now does not have ultimate. Stewart does. Primal Fury confirmed by the Solar Scarabs, and in the backline is Deathwalker. And in with the ultimate, but a freeze from inbound slows down the impending onslaught. A knockback onto the Ymir, and Deathwalker making that CDR work. E-Chrome.
Inbound just had no way out.
Uh-oh, Scaredy's in some trouble here. Fear No Evil, and the body blocks, and it's a shutdown onto Scaredy, and it goes to Deathwalker. It's a big chunk of gold that Hex Mambo get back. The Solar Scarabs, they are down 4,000 or so experience, and they're gonna be down over 1,000 gold. That'd be 1,500. As Hex Mambo have just made some really nice plays. I mean, you watch the Primal Fury go down, Myth.
They could have potentially just done Fire Giant. You've got complete vision control on the right side of the map. You already realized that Baronic was hovering left. You saw Stewart in mid. I think they really were in a position to actually take the largest neutral objective. Instead, slow, methodical play, pick up the Pyromancer for themselves. Certainly still nice. 2,000 gold in the lead. But all the posturing that you're going to be doing over the next 4 or 5 minutes is for the Fire Giant. I'd argue they'd already won.
Yep. It is burning slowly. Again, see, there's that Zero's damage, freeze from inbound on the front of the fight, and a Sanctified Field slows down Rotwin. But look in the back line, Scaredy thought he had a dive, but now Deathwalker. A really good chance to reinitiate for Hex Mambo. Baronic scurrying away, drops some movement speed to usher the Solar Scarabs out of the jungle. Have Hex Mambo done enough to pull the FG? They think yes.
Deathwalker tanks it up. Rotwin on the way back from base. E-Chrome still access to that ultimate. Solar Scarabs nearby. Stewart, no ult to himself, but does have both those relics. Hex Mambo not going to leave it up to the coin tosser with his ultimate. Scaredy's dead. Hex Mambo gets Fire Giant. So, a bit lucky for the Solar Scarabs. Fire Giant pulled again, but resets.
And Hex Mambo are just kind of toying with the Solar Scarabs right now. Pull the Fire Giant, see what happens. This is maybe the best Baronic can be doing right now. Of course, he's got the global ultimate. He can rotate into a fight if he wants. And so the Scarabs send their mid laner over to the left side of the map to split push down the tier 2 tower. Samford Soccer hovering towards the left side of this fight. He can have a free path in to Rotwin, Zeros, Johnny, any of the backliners.
Someone has to help Stu.
Yeah, Stu has just been ignored by the rest of his team as Deathwalker has done a massive amount of damage to the Ola run. Sanctified Field still waiting. Baronic shoved back. E-Chrome's got a double kill. He's translated the aggression into the team fight. Fear No Evil answered back by a Fatal Strike, but hello Hex Mambo, they've come to play. And 3 members of the Solar Scarabs wiped off the map.
I have no clue what happens there in the communication. Stu must be dead silent, because one help changes that entire fight. He's fighting for his life in a 1v1 up against Deathwalker. Inbound, walks past him. Fire Giant burn it quick. Scaredy in the back.
Can Scaredy make something happen? Maybe get a kill under Rotwin, but Scaredy not interested. Scaredy wants the steal, and he'll get it. Solar Scarabs keep themselves involved in this game, and it's a miracle play by Scaredy to take the FG. And Hex Mambo, they're looking for blood in exchange, but Scaredy tanky enough to delay his own demise. May end up being able to get a kill, but a blink in front, and one of those FG buffs taken away. But a nice play by Scaredy to deny the Fire Giant from Hex Mambo.
I think you're very much willing to take a fight there in about 10 seconds once Scaredy respawns. Hex Mambo have certainly brought the battle and make use of this time while Scaredy still in the grayscale. Should be able to get this Gold Fury for themselves, but it will not go unanswered, I hope, by the Solar Scarabs.
I argue the Scarabs need that steal. If Hex Mambo win that fight 3-1 and then go get Fire Giant, obviously the game's still close enough where something can happen. The Scarabs a good enough team to make something happen on defense, but mentally, I think the Scarabs were just a bit shocked by the way that the last couple of fights have gone. Seemed a bit out of it. A couple of those, the Lawbringer defensively on an overextension. Got to be careful when you're walking the tightrope that Deathwalker is.
Oof.
when there's enough damage to melt you down quickly. Couple 1v1 battles to keep your eyes on. Scaredy and Johnny going at it over on the left. Sam for Soccer and Deathwalker on the right side of the Fire Giant pit. But now it's Inbound looking for that one big wall to set up a fight.
But it's Inbound who gets found, pulled back in, fight starts.
And it's a Sanctified Field out from Stewart. And the Solar Scarabs, the team playing with more momentum right now, but the pushback from Hex Mambo, not half bad. Scary D's Fatal Strike. It's defensive, and a double freeze from Inbound simply delays his death. But Deathwalker finds the kill anyway. Deathwalker finds a double, and Hex Mambo, the #1 EU SEC squad, they're doing it again. They win a 2-for-1 fight, and now they've got numbers to go for the EFG.
Scary D still has teleport. He can get back into this fight pretty quickly, and he's going to be needed. Had to tie up his cape and become the hero for his team last time. Can he do it twice?
Scary D in range. Scary D not in time. Hex Mambo get enhanced FG on all 4 members remaining alive. Rotwin, the one without the buff for game #1. And see, it's moments like this where to be a fly on the wall in the Solar Scarabs booth, who's the one shot calling, who is making the decisions, who is keeping this team on track mentally to try to fight back in on defense here. Because look at what Deathwalker is simply leisurely strolling into the backline of the Scarabs. This tier is living in the backline, pre-beads, knocks up onto Stu, and Stu is being decimated by the tier. As a Sanctified Field forced out defensively, but a good freeze from Inbound forces E-Chrome back. And the Scarabs blessing hits as well. Goodbye, Inbound. The Solar Scarabs have lost their support.
Bronic still nearby, can sink in some damage. Hex Mambo, though, still incredibly healthy. E-Chrome can lifesteal his way back up, get re-involved. Fire Giant gonna sustain him as well. And 50 seconds left on Inbound's respawn. Johnny gonna either take away one member or re-meet them on the left.
Whoa, E-Chrome in the backline goes Scary D, and Scary D nearly has enough damage. Baronic has hit late game, but so has Zeros, and look at the chunk damage that this Baba Yaga has done.
Yikes.
Look at the jump back in. Deathwalker's on a rampage, and Deathwalker wants to end this game, but Stewart sustaining up enough into his build. And the Solar Scarabs, they've got some life yet. A shutdown from Baronic on a Deathwalker. But it's the mid lane Phoenix you've got to worry about. Hex Mambo have sieged the base.
Nice kills on the left side, said Hex Mambo. You've been distracted.
Whoa.
Sure, you got Zeros double for
Sam.
Sam for Soccer. Might be able to chase out E-Chrome as well, but look how many towers are still standing for Hex Mambo. I don't think the Solar Scarabs can do much with this time.
But you can just tell the way he's playing the game. So some long death timers still. Solar Scarabs don't want to call for it. Just the duo lane alive from Hex Mambo, and only Scary D dead from the Solar Scarabs. And so you pull back the map state a bit by dropping a couple towers, but I have to imagine we could be chilling on Phoenix right now. Instead, the Solar Scarabs want to play the long game, let the Fire Giant buff wear out. It's already gone off everyone anyway.
Just beating around the bush, waiting for Hex Mambo to make a mistake. The Solar Scarabs are now in a position where they have to get aggressive. They need to get there themselves. Find Johnny before he initiates. Get onto Zeros before he's allowed to put out all of his damage 3 times in a row, like we've seen every single one of these team fights pan out. As of now, it's just the Chernobog on the left-hand side pushing out those waves. Has global presence, though. He'll get there quick.
With how much pressure Stewart's been under, Fire Giant's low. I'll return to that thought in a moment. And wow, Hex Mambo are just going to get the EFG, a freeze out from Inbound and a Sanctified Field, but a good answer back from the Fear No Evil. And Sam for Soccer dragging his team forward into the team fight as Zeros has lost his buff. The goal now, maybe go back in. That is unreal from Deathwalker. That is disgusting as Zeros has lost his buff. The goal now, maybe go back in. That is unreal from Deathwalker. That is disgusting as Hex found the initiation. And it's Deathwalker at the forefront. Solar Scarabs decimated from the map. And it is Hex Mambo taking game 1.
Do it quick, do it quick.
Do it, Idol, do it.
Do it. Kill me, Done. Careful, maybe. I got one shot. No, we can fight. Nah, careful.
Pill Crom.
Yeah, they're gonna wall.
Fight, go. I have ult. Nice.
Nice,
Achilles.
Dude!
Put him.
I'm feeling this shit, man. Nice, boys. Just end it.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
I'm really excited to see this one. Deathwalker on the Amaterasu, synonymous, and potentially a first blood. Not this time, but still certainly close.
Look, Deathwalker has, jokingly or not, remains to be seen, given some trash talk throughout this week and backed a lot of that up, almost all of that up.
Man walks the walk and talks the talk.
That's right, he deathwalks the walk, and exactly what happens in game number 1. Johnny back to the solo lane. He goes. Scary D has been low throughout this laning phase, but so is Deathwalker, and it's what you expect in this lane. These two just be brawling out with one another. Sam will be spotted out by a ward as a blue buff spawns. Looks like enough presence from Sam and Scary D to steal away the first blue buff of the game. I guess second blue buff of the game, but the first invade from Hex Mambo. I can't tell with Johnny if he's about to go in there. He's just going to stealth and clear out the wave, and I'm sure that's what the Solar Scarabs are having to consider as well. And a pull back in from Deathwalker, and this time Johnny has gone back in. And Scary D barely survives, but so does Johnny, and my goodness, First Blood still goes searching for a target in both roles. And Sam started off game 1 really effectively. The script just got away from the Susano a bit. You hope Sam's able to find some more waves here on this Lancelot.
And it seems like Sam's gone for the quicker itemization once more. Transcendence in first slot for Johnny, not quite finished, so not stacking just yet. Heavy scaling, though, for Loki means that Vanish is going to deal a whole lot more damage. Flurry Strike's very good as well. But there are some answers to the Loki. The Death is bringing up the fact that Hou-Yi doesn't really have CC immunity to deal with Assassinate. You can at least deal with the stealth. Doesn't work if Hou-Yi's got you matched up.
And Rotwin put together a really nice performance. And already, some pressure on to Inbound. Inbound does have Scarab's Blessing here. Does he need it?
Looks like it.
Yes, but he puts it onto Stewart. Oh no, the fumble. And Hex Mambo at least get first blood. Johnny still has ultimate.
Regardless, Hex Mambo strike first early on. But even with first blood to them, the Solar Scarabs have been doing a good job farm on map. Those blue buff invades that have just kept going their way that keep them afloat.
E-Chrome. Man, the Hex Mambo across the map are playing with a little something else in this set. Game 1, E-Chrome taking solo kills against Stewart.
Easy to forget with that massive play from Deathwalker, but yeah, you're right.
E-Chrome ends that game with a triple kill, all on the setup from Deathwalker. Remember early in the laning phase, it's not like it only got bad in the team fight for Stewart. E-Chrome was running that lane once the Heimdall got a couple items online. Scary D steps forward. Johnny has ult. And Scary D is going to get stunned, and Hex Mambo find another kill, this time on the right side of the map. I imagine if E-Chrome is going to play the ults aggressively, we'll see that once or twice. Maybe an opportunity for Stewart to pull ahead in lane.
Look at the disparity in stacks between Stewart and E-Chrome. Doubling up the stacks on the Chernobog already, moving in towards that Light Blade. Stu sacrificing a good deal of farm. Johnny, though, might be in some trouble.
Sam for Soccer wants the solo, and Sam for Soccer will get it. Zero simply has to watch it happen. Rotwin gets the pullback, though, onto the Lancelot. Dueling Dragons remain in the back pocket of Zeros for now. Stewart. And maybe for the Solar Scarabs, who are now grouped up around the Gold Fury.
You force the ultimate all the way across the map. Scary D can slow down that back. Now the Solar Scarabs in a good position.
The Solar Scarabs initiate onto Rotwin. That's an abduct from Inbound. Pulls one back. Dueling Dragons decent from Zeros. But Rotwin, no leg to stand on, no disengage, and no help from the rest of the team means just one pick to the Solar Scarabs. But a heavy enough use of ultimates from the Scarabs to not immediately go back to that Gold Fury. And the Scarabs seem to be okay with that, as they pull out the Gold Fury and an ultimate down from Stewart, an early ultimate down from Stewart. Veronic sends damage into the Gold Fury, and the Solar Scarabs, the SPL squad, good shot calling, pick up the first Gold Fury of the game. Teleport from Scary D goes through, but Deathwalker trades out the tier 1 tower on the other side of the map. Hello, 4 members of the Solar Scarabs are here, and Deathwalker just too speedy. Ultimate from E-Chrome. Up just going towards Inbound. Pyromancer's up. That means the Solar Scarabs would love to group up, but Hex Mambo would love to find an answer. Find a steal. We already had a steal in game 1. Won't get it yet here in game 2. And it's a Pyromancer and objective secure by the Solar Scarabs. And the SEC squad would love to win one big team fight, pull back control for themselves, and put the Solar Scarabs on the back foot, and they must win game 2. It starts now, though, as Scary D has looked in the back line for an ultimate, and it stops now, as that's all there is. And the Hex Mambo, you can tell, Myth, playing on a nice edge. Similar confidence, but much more controlled, really, from both squads here so far in game 2.
Johnny Might go for a split push here. Steals away the blue buff.
Everyone loves that style of Loki.
If you want to, you can also do it without showing yourself on the map. Walk up, stealth, poison the wave, walk away, and allow your minions to go through on their own. Instead, Hex Mambo's jungler does show himself an opportunity to the Solar Scarabs, 4v4 on the left.
Good poke damage from Deathwalker onto Sanford Soccer. Wow, I mean, even Scary D does rotate back to right, so more even fight here. Inbound in a very uncomfortable position as the River's Rebuke goes up from Rotwin. This time Scarabs Blessing hits home, but Sanford Soccer is shut down by Hex Mambo. Can you reinitiate though? E-Chrome has used his ultimate. Finds Scary D, who is all on his own. Dazzling offensive 1 and 2 and 3. And a stun onto Scary D. Only slows him down, and it'll be the disengage anyway. And now your killing spree, your 3-0 Lancelot off the map for the Scarabs.
Yeah, he just wanted to get into that back line. This Lancelot tries to channel the ultimate. You don't get the HP shield until you get to the apex of that dash, and Sanford Soccer was never allowed that opportunity. Got removed from the map so quickly. Hex Mambo take the 1-for-0 trade and
God.
the Fury.
What happened with
and
experience?
the lead.
What
Yeah,
happened
that
there?
is tough. That is a massive swing.
Where is that?
For Hex Mambo? It's everywhere. Man.
Everywhere, I guess. A lot of players reaching level 20 anyway. 4 towards the tier 1 tower on right. Johnny could have a big time flank here. And E-Chrome. River's Rebuke from Rotwin used, but you can see the Solar Scarabs in their positioning says, I want to leave, but Johnny has cut off the escape, and so is Deathwalker in the backline. Solar Scarab Scarab's Blessing rather, onto the Solar Scarab's ADC, but it times out, and Johnny able to find the kill. It is answered back on the other side of this fight, and the King Arthur starting to swing. The duo lane for Hex Mambo takes a fall, and Sanford Soccer notches his 4th.
Mambo overcommit to the dive, really spent a whole lot of time trying to shut down Stewart. Works out for him in game 1, but in this one, might cost him too much. Zero's floating away, but how far can he get? Not far at all. Solar Scarabs knocked down 4 in trade of 1. Deathwalker still alive. Could make it slow play.
Percentage points to win here, and a must-win game 2 to avoid elimination. Fire Giant burns. Deathwalker
I'm nervous.
speeding towards that side of the map. And Deathwalker will be here in time. Has a dazzling offensive, but the Fire Giant dropped now by the Solar Scarabs. Deathwalker maintaining its health bar. Rotwin is close by as well, and the Fire Giant confirmed by the Solar Scarabs. But E-Chrome has ulted towards the right side of the map, and disengage is the call. The Scarabs backpedaling from Hex Mambo, but Scary D and Sanford Soccer have something else in mind. Rotwin falls for his troubles. Hex Mambo lose their support and the FG.
But what can Hex Mambo do to get out of here with Scary D so quick
Not
on the
do the
chase?
Scorpion.
Lockdown looking good. Deathwalker might have just lost the dash. Actually gets it off, so his life maintained. Solar Scarabs with Fire Giant on 5. You started the Scorpion, Hex Mambo. That belongs to us. Where are you going to put this siege?
Going to be able to spike this gold lead up with the Fire Giant, whereas Hex Mambo have taken every tier 1 tower on the map. But it's back and reset for the Solar Scarabs, and a good call. You find a brilliant team fight earlier on. It all goes wrong for Hex Mambo, right into the FG.
Have got to be able to find some value in these next couple of fights. Hex Mambo, though, going for a bit of a race here. Might be enough threat, considering tier 1 on left is still up. Now the Solar Scarabs have got to respect this siege. Scary D back first, and now both Moronic and Stewart. Hex Mambo, just so smart, completely stopped the aggression from the Solar Scarabs, who have got to reset themselves across the map. But the ability to pull it out, so dangerous. Instead, maybe just catch inbound.
Ooh, inbound double Riptides from Rotwin. They're fantastic. Dueling Dragons pushes Stewart in, who's alone on the front of the fight.
It's not looking
and
good.
And now Stewart is TKO'd. Hex Mambo. This might be the best look, given this gold
Nice
disparity.
strife.
This might be your best look at a team fight, but Moronic has sent some poke damage back. Johnny reinitiates to the tune of a double stun. Gets out,
Where'd he
but
go?
my God, that damage from Moronic turns the fight around, and Sanford Soccer
There they are.
is tanky and does some good damage as well. The Solar Scarabs have found the first, looking for the second onto Zeros, and Moronic has got a double. Scary D adds his 3rd, and the Scarabs eyeing game 3.
Solar Scarabs on the chase. Rotwin starts the fight well, but will end it alone. No ohm to his name, and a death goes over to
want
him
the
as
end.
well.
And we will get our game 3. Hex
one.
Mambo and Solar Scarabs. They will go the distance, and elimination game number 3. And the Solar Scarabs punch back of the year. Myth Deathwalker gets his tier back. Scary D on the King Arthur. Backline disruption maybe at an all-time high.
A battle of the best between these two. Can't wait to see how it pans out. Laning phase, though, I think has a little bit less implications this time around. I doubt we see too much solo potential. King Arthur might get stifled just by that self-sustain from Tyr in Baronic's Merlin. I'll be keeping my eye on him. Already, seems like he's trying to move in.
Out of stealthy will go. Sanford Soccer to the left side. Stun onto Rotwin, and Rotwin will fall. Sanford Soccer on the Ratatosker will strike first and gives the Solar Scarabs an advantage on the left side. You break it down for 13 minutes?
Whew. I'm hoping something cool is happening before that.
Oh,
Here you go.
It's happening right now as Stuart forced to use the ultimate. Where will he go?
Uh-oh.
Over but Zeros has the immediate apple. Stuart takes a mountain of damage, and Johnny knocks down the target, but an answer back from the Solar Scarabs. And a great initiation from Rotwin and E-Chrome.
Decent value over to the Solar Scarabs. Red buff invade attempted on both sides. E-Chrome successful as inbound starts to work his way across the map, but E-Chrome's going to line up against Sam, and seems like he likes his odds.
E-Chrome taking the ult chance every single time, and Sam, oh my god, did Gold Fury hit him a couple times? He just gets shredded away. I didn't expect his health to be that low, and E-Chrome continues to get it done here on the left side of the map. There's something about E-Chrome on this Heimdall that is just working for Hex Mambo. Rotwin's got a good body block here. Inbound should be fine. We are dead even at this point in the game, so though XP looks great for Hex Mambo, gold still just fine for both teams.
Yeah, I'm thinking inbound is a major sink in the experience department. Now 4 levels
How's
down.
he not leveled up yet?
Early. He's just hovering in the jungle, man. It seems like he's not willing to take anything.
Deathwalker will use the CC immunity and the leap on out to stay alive, and Sanford Soccer luckily doesn't take the ult in. Inbound has hit 8 now. That's a surprise. I was for sure he'd hit 8 before Rotwin hit 11, but it's gonna be tough. Haven't seen the big team fight break out yet, but that's something you have to keep your eyes on, how squishy or not. But haven't seen it recently. There you go, Stu. Trade some damage back into E-Chrome. But the left side, I was wondering if Hex Mambo would suddenly rotate everyone over here, see if you can get pressure onto this Gold Fury. And Scarabs is not having it. Wants to get in and make some waves happen. But this one fizzles out as quickly as it starts.
Might be one of the first times we've seen E-Chrome's beads go on cooldown. So now a target on his back. Still an incredibly safe pick. Knock-up immunity with the Gallarhorn. CC immunity, the ultimate. Solar Scarabs, though, they're pulling it out.
Or Stu going. Probably the same place Sam is going. Dashes in towards Rotwin, who's used the Dharmic Pillars. Zeros the CC immunity, avoids the stun, and a tower shot on a Sam.
You're nuts.
Doesn't get the kill, but Sanford Soccer, with the last bit of damage, trades out with Zeros in a 1-for-1 trade to start this off. E-Chrome now, under the vengeance of the Solar Scarabs, gets run down by Scary D. Deathwalker and Rotwin, though, not happy. And here comes Johnny in the jungle.
Deathwalker's got a whole lot of movement speed. You're not going to be able to escape from him. You're going to have to turn if you want him off of you. Now Baronic isolated and caught against the wall.
Oh, man.
Best of luck.
Deathwalker on his way out of solo will add his 3rd kill of the game on a double kill on left. And Hex Mambo have punched back a 2-for-3 trade for the SEC squad. A clear, concise turn from the Solar Scarabs, and now an initiation onto E-Chrome from Scary D as well. Dunk in from Sanford Soccer. That's a 2-man knockup, and he'll dash through and find E-Chrome in the back line. Spin to win, no good. And Johnny keeps his ADC alive, and E-Chrome has just survived through it all. Luckily, Baronic is able to drop the Heimdall, but Deathwalker has lived through it all, and now Baronic is on the wrong side of this initiation. Another 3-for-1 trade, and Hex Mambo on top of it again.
Solar Scarabs just chasing out way too far. They drop Deathwalker low, so he says, word, I'll just go mid and heal up, as tiers do. And then he has an easy rotation back through pincer maneuver on the entirety of the Solar Scarabs, who are just too deep on Hex Mambo's side of the map. And he's allowed to play now with Wild Abandon. This tier's diving against 2 on his own, while the rest of Mambo have got their eyes on the objective.
Scarabs, the FPL team, further on the back foot.
That's a massive gold lead.
It is
19
huge.
minutes in, that is hard to deal with. The experience, though,
That is gross. I don't know the last time I've seen 11,000 experience
It doesn't happen.
at like 20 minutes. Because there's 3 levels in the jungle now, 2 levels in solo, 4 in support. And look at Rotwin. Like he is I don't know what he's saying, but I can tell by the body language. It is, let's calm down. We got this lead. Let's play our game. You know, I know it's hard to make like full gameplay adjustments, but this couldn't have caught the Scarabs by surprise that a tier came back out after a Game 2 win. It might just be that hard to play against when Deathwalker is that good at this pick.
It is one of the most annoying things to deal with because of the nature of the build, the enhanced movement speed. He's the fastest man on the map. It's really hard to see a tier thanks to his passive, and his displacement just makes it so difficult to return damage.
Oh, inbound gets jumped on now. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, but where do you want to? Yeah, you got to toss tier away from your team. You don't want it behind you. And a good dive from Sam for Soccer. Nearly gets a kill onto Hex Mambo's mid. Up goes Sam onto the branch. Down he drops a two-man knockup from the Ratatosker, but Deathwalker has found a knockup of his own to push back the Scarabs. Good strife, pulls in a couple, but Scary D still left low and still left running. Oh, the Solar Scarabs blink in. Double push back from Deathwalker. There's your Fearless, and Deathwalker, he's on a rampage.
You cannot outrun this tier. Your only option on the retreat is to return damage. He's just too fast to deal with, and he's still creating space. You don't gotta zone him in their tier 2 tower. The Fire Giant is just too far away. The Solar Scarabs now on the back foot with Fire Giant on 5. Hex Mambo, Experience Gold, all in the lead. This is so hard to deal with.
Remember, Day 1, Smite Masters. Day 2, Smite Masters. All SPL versus SEC matchups, and they are swift 2-0s. We even asked Genetics. Do we think any SEC team is going to upset an SPL squad? He didn't seem confident. Nobody else did. And Deathwalker has simply done it again. He is simply running this map. It is a two-man Fearless this time into the damage from the rest of Hex Mambo. And this is a masterclass on tier. Clip this, ship it, watch it back if you want to learn how to play this character, because Deathwalker is running this map.
He's still in that back line, takes a whole lot of damage, but no more will head his way. Left side Phoenix removed, mid Phoenix swiftly follows, 5 strong, Hex Mambo. They're gonna dot their I's and cross their T's. One more bird to take off. Inbound still level 13, luckily respawn pretty short. Only 2 more seconds till he rejoins the squad.
And Inbound gets blink with his second relic when he hits level 12. I'm not sure he wants to be blinking into anyone right now, but it's the best he can do, I suppose, is try to get in there and try to find damage, try to find beads, try to find a Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, a miracle play, something to give the Solar Scarabs a sign of life. But a 14,000 gold lead and one more team fight is maybe all they need. And Deathwalker is disgusting. Lock this man up. He's not allowed to do it anymore, and he won't need to, because Hex Mambo have just won Game 3. They have knocked out the SPL squad, and they'll move on to our tournament next weekend.
Deathwalker is an absolute madman. His new uniform is a straitjacket. This guy should not be playing Smite. He needs to be in an asylum. The Solar Scarabs have been dominated by exactly one man and one pick. Good luck to DW and the boys. I don't think you're getting tier again this weekend.
The Smite Masters curse has hit the Scarabs yet again. This time its name is Hex Mambo and Deathwalker and the rest of the boys. And what a team effort from that team. They can't handshake each other, but they can play Smite very, very well. That's right, we've got Deathwalker and eChrome for the post-game interview. Honestly, both of you two had similar sets, just on different sides of the map. Deathwalker, we'll start with you. The tier gameplay, Game 1 and 3, unbelievable. Some of the best we've seen, solo lane dominance. What do you see, the Game 1 4-man Fearless? You guys lose zeros, I believe, at the beginning of that play, and I'm thinking you're disengaging. You go back in. What do you see in that play to make it happen?
I mean, I saw way too many players grouped, you know. I just can't resist. Even if it's a bad play, you just can't resist it, you know. So I just kind of like went in there. It turned out to be perfect. I didn't even know their beats were down. I just kind of like did it, you know. Like if it was bad, it was bad. But I also got to say, for the Scarabs, you know, the last time we played them, I said it was a 95% chance we beat them.
Yeah.
I'd say they got real lucky back then, you know.
They hit that 5% chance, right?
5% chance. I mean, I proved it here that they got pretty lucky back then.
Look, it was a fantastic set from you, and we'll get back to you in a moment. eChrome, you had dominance on the other side of the map as well. You're taking solo kills against Stewart. You got the Heimdall in Game 1, Game 3 as well. What was going on today over on that side of the map? Just feeling good?
It was just way better for us today. Like feeling confident after the win against Shibalba Storm. Heimdall was always working, I guess. And feeling good. Feeling
Look,
good.
it was such a fun team style of composition to watch. Everyone had to step up and do their thing. I was admittedly surprised, Deathwalker, you got your tier back in Game 3. Did you know that it was going to be a run-it-back style of game? Because the Scarabs seemingly didn't have an answer to it in Game 1. I figured they'd change something here for Game 3. Were you surprised to get it back in your hands again?
To be honest with you, I don't think anybody in the SPL has an answer to tier really, but they just kind of pretend like he's bad. So when you have like a good tier play him, you know, he just looks untouchable.
Right.
Also, I was feeling tier today. Like if a player is feeling a dangerous god on the day, just ban it, man. You know, like just ban it. You know, maybe tomorrow I won't feel it this well, but like today it was kind of dangerous. They disrespected me, and well, look where it got you.
Look, you closed your eyes.
You know, I wanted to say something else, but
you closed your eyes, the buttons pressed themselves. E-Chrome, final thoughts from you. You guys beat the Solar Scarabs here. You move on to play next weekend. Think you can do it again to a different SPL squad next weekend?
Okay, it's gonna be a bit harder, I'd say, but everything can happen, I think.
That's right. Anything can happen in these tournaments. Look, congrats to you guys. Incredible game to watch. Lots of fun to watch on this one. Can't wait to see what you're able to do next weekend. That's it for this one. Back to the desk.